Hey guys, so if you're watching this video, that's because either you know me and you've seen my status about making this video, or you're a super awesome person that decided to click on this video. Nonetheless, hey, if you know me, you know who I am. If you don't, my name is Yessie. That's all you need to know. This video is going to touch on some domestic violence situations, specifically regarding mine. Now, mine's pretty recent, so bear with me a little bit. Grab some tissues, because I'm probably going to cry. This isn't going to be a woe is me situation. I'm not a victim. I don't need to be treated as such, and you don't need to look at me as such either. I'm a pretty strong person. And this story is going to show you why. Now, for those of you that are stumbling across this video, or that know me, that know what this video is about, you're going to know that there's going to be some triggers in this video. Now, I'm sharing my story and the things that I went through. Detailed enough for you to understand, and not too much detail where I can't handle it. I'm not here to talk about anybody in a bad way. I'm not here to throw dirt on anybody's name or talk crap. I'm not trying to do any of that at all. So, some of you may know my ex, some of you may stumble across his path, whatever. I'm not trying to rebel. I'm trying to specifically talk about what happened, what I went through, because nobody knew. I was pretty good at hiding it, and I was pretty good at making it seem like I was super happy when I wasn't. Now, those of you that worked with me know that sometimes I would show up. One specific situation, I showed up with a black eye. A lot of the other times the makeup was enough. This time it was not. So you kind of already had your suspicions. Maybe you didn't, but you'll know. Some of these stories, some of you may remember. Those that know me, you'll remember the situation. Maybe you won't. But like I said, this is my truth. And that's all I need to speak on. What happened to me. Now again, triggers. It will happen. You may get flashbacks. You may get in your feelings. That's what this video is for. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with a little backstory of how I met him. Just like a normal 17-year-old teenage girl, I met him at a gathering. And I say gathering because I'm not trying to promote any weirdness for teenagers. That's not what I'm here for. If any of them are watching it, if your parents are going through it, you have friends that are going through it. Because yes, domestic violence does not have an age discrimination situation. Which, that sounded really weird, but you know what I meant. It does not discriminate race, color, age. It doesn't. It doesn't care. If it happens, it happens. A lot of the times it's because we let it happen. We ignore it because we think we're in love. I'm here to tell you, love does not do that. It doesn't. I was with my ex for 7 years. Long years. Tough years. Like I said, since I was 17. And I finally grew the balls to leave him at 24. Which was extremely hard. You'll know why. Now again, we met at a gathering for his cousin. He was really nice, really chill. First impressions are everything because he made the greatest first impression. We hung out all night for months, and then we finally made it official. He was a great guy. Everything was awesome. He was funny. He was nice. Super chill. Super nice. Now, I thought he was working. I thought he was a guy, a man on the rise. Whoa, did I get the biggest slap in the face. Slap of reality, really, because he was not. Now, the first year of us dating, first year and a half, it was amazing. Everything was really cool, very chill, so I thought. Hindsight, there's a lot of emotional mental abuse there. for one example, a couple months into us dating, and when I say a couple months, I mean probably like 4 months into making it official, I wanted to hang out with some friends. It was nice. I missed my friend. He wasn't too excited about it. So my friends asked me to hang out. I wanted to go out, and I was hanging out with him. So I was like, hey, I'm going to go out with my friends. We're going to go hang out, have some fun, right? So my friends, a lot of them, I knew them from elementary, junior high, and then the start of high school. So I pretty much grew up with a lot of my friends. So I was like, hey, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with my friends, whatever. And he was like, well, they're not your friends. And, you know, I took a quick look like, wait, what? He was like, they're not your friends. If they were your friends, they would tell you to take your boyfriend. They're not. They're just having you go and hoe around. And this took me by surprise because, one, he's never talked like this. Two, it didn't make sense to me. I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? So I brought that up, and I was like, what are you talking about? I know a lot of these people from when I was younger. Like, we grew up together. What are you talking about? And a lot of them don't really know you. We were just hanging out as friends. A lot of us weren't dating anybody anyway. And my friends knew I was dating someone, but they didn't know exactly who he was. So whether or not I wanted to bring a plus rom didn't matter. I just wanted to hang out with my friends because I wanted to hang out with my friends. We weren't dating very long, so I wasn't the type of person to bring them around all the time. So I didn't. He didn't like that. He was like, well, they're not your friends, or else they'd tell you to invite your boyfriend. And I'm like, well, how does that not make them my friend? They just don't know you. Maybe they just want to hang out with me. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? Plus, why? He was older. He wasn't that much older, but he was like a year and a half older than me. So I was like, why would you want to hang out with a bunch of high school kids? You know? Didn't sound like something that you would be interested in anyway. And he was like, well, I'm not. I was like, well, why do you care? You know? And he's like, oh, it's just the point of the matter. And I was like, well, that doesn't mean they're not my friends, right? Whatever. The argument came and went. About a month later, I wanted to go to Senior Ditch Day. Now, Senior Ditch Day was something that I looked forward to a lot. The day had came. I wanted to go hang out with my friends for Senior Ditch Day. Now, he grew up in the juvenile hall system, so he didn't really understand the concept of Senior Ditch Day, and he thought I was making it up. And I was like, no, it's a very known thing. Everybody, all high schoolers know, you know, Senior Ditch Day is fun. I wanted to go to Senior Ditch Day. I don't know why that was a big problem. And he was like, it's not true. You're just trying to find a way to ditch me. And I was like, what are you talking about? So, you know, I explained to him the concept of Senior Ditch Day, and I was like, maybe you don't get it because you didn't really go to high school. And he got offended by that. Now, whether or not it was offensive, I'm not too sure even till this day, because I didn't think I said it in a bad way. I just kind of meant like, maybe you don't get it because you didn't actually go to like a real high school, so you don't understand the concept of Senior Ditch Day. Or, you know, my class kind of had school spirit, so maybe you kind of really didn't get that because that's not something that you understand, which is okay. I didn't mean it in a bad way, but he kind of made it seem like I was like putting him down, which I was like, oh, that's not what I meant. And he was like calling me all kinds of names and telling me that I was dumb and like I'm a liar and like all this stuff. And I was like, whoa, that escalated so quickly. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna leave. You have a good one. A few days before his Senior Ditch Day, he got arrested. Now, I put that in quotations because I actually found out maybe like a year or two, a couple years later, that he didn't actually get arrested. He lied about that. Yeah. I found out he actually didn't really get arrested. So, which is why the quotations. But anyway, he got arrested, and I got to enjoy Senior Ditch Day. Now, I went with some friends. They actually ended up switching Senior Ditch Day on us. So I went to hang out with some friends that I grew up with anyway. Now we all hung out, blah, blah, blah. And then I went home. It was like a really fun time. It was nothing crazy. We didn't do anything crazy. We just had some chill time. Now, after that, he got out and he showed up. He's like, yeah, I'm home now. I heard you went with your friends. And I was like, well, yeah, you know, I have friends. And he was like, yeah, I heard you went with your friends to Senior Ditch Day. Like, how could you do this to me? Like, if I cheated on him or something. It was really weird. He was like, I don't know how you could do this to me. How can you betray me? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, how did I betray you? And he was like, you didn't listen. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, he thought by dating me that I automatically owned him. Or that he owned me, sorry. That to me was, it just didn't sit right. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't own me. I can go hang out with my friends and enjoy school activities if I want to. And he was like, no. You're supposed to listen to your boyfriend. That didn't sit right with me, and I left. Because I was so mad. I was like, who do you think you're talking to? Now, if you know me, you know that I have a pretty strong personality. You're not going to tell me what to do, not without some type of logical reason. And that reason better come quick and nice and in detail. Because other than that, then it's just BS. I don't deal with that. So after that, I left. Fast forward a few months later. You know, it was just little things like that. He would always kind of switch things into a negative way, like, no, your friends don't like you. No, your friends don't like me because they didn't invite me. And I'm like, they don't know you. How do they not like you if they don't know you? Like, just little things like that. So fast forward a few months later, I was hanging out with my friend. I went, you know, like after school, we went to hang out because her boyfriend lived next door to where my boyfriend lived. Well, my ex-boyfriend lived. And so we would go together all the time. So her and her boyfriend had gotten in an argument, and I was hanging out with my ex, and she was like, hey, I would really love if you spent the night with me. Me and her boyfriend were having, you know, arguments, and we got in a really bad argument, and I need some support. I was like, hands down, no hesitation, of course, I'll definitely be there. Hell yeah, we're gonna go watch some movies, drink some soda, freaking eat some ice cream, like, let's go hang out. I told my ex, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with this person, which was my friend. We'll call her Sally for now. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with Sally. We're gonna go have some cool time. Her and her boyfriend are arguing, so she said that they broke up. I'm gonna go hang out with her because I know it could be pretty tough. She's pretty heartbroken. He was like, no. I was like, why? You know, like, I'm still gonna go, but like, why? You know, because her and her dad were on the way to come get me. He was like, no, you're not going anywhere. I looked at him and I was like, I'm going. I'm gonna go support my friend. We'll talk about this later because clearly this is an argument and I just don't have the energy. I'm gonna go be there for my friend. As I'm going to the door, he beat me there, and this was our first altercation. He pushed me into the wall. Now, just a quick, the door's right here, the wall's right here, is a very narrow kind of hallway-ish area before the door. So it's like the door, the wall, closet in. He pushed me into the wall, And he like kind of put his hand up there, and he like kind of got in my face a little bit, and he was like, "You're not going anywhere. I told you you're not going anywhere." And I was kind of scared, and I was like, "Dude, you're scaring me. Like, can you move? I'm gonna go hang out with my friend. um I just feel really uncomfortable right now. Like, I don't know what you're doing." And he was like, "You're not going anywhere. I just told you." And I was like, "You need to move because you're scaring me." And so I like kind of push him out of the way, and I go towards the door, and he grabbed my arm so hard and like kind of dragged me back towards the wall, and like kind of like tugged on me so hard to where I went against the wall again. And he kind of trapped me there. And I'm like grabbing my arm because it hurt. And I was like, "Ow, dude, like, what the heck?" And I was like, you hurt my arm. Like, you need to move because I'm scared, and like my arm hurts." And like you can hear my friend and her dad honking, honking, honking outside. And I was like, "What the heck?" And I was like, "You need to move right now. Like, you're really scaring me." And he was like, "I already told you you're not going anywhere. I don't know why you think you're going anywhere. I don't know why you called them and told her that you're going. You're not going. I don't care what anybody says." Then we hear a knock on the door. It's my friend. And she sees me there like with a scared face, and she was like, "Are you coming?" And I was like, I looked at him like, "Oh shit," you know? And he was like, "Oh yeah, she's going. I'll see you later, babe." And he like kisses me on the cheek and leaves. And I'm standing there like, what the heck just happened? Like, you were so angry a second ago. What? No hesitation, I left. I left so quick. And I was telling my friend when we got to her house, and I was like, "That was so scary, you know, blah, blah, blah." And she was like, "I knew it." And I looked at her like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "I knew that he did that. Even my dad was like, oh, he better not be trying to make her not come, and blah, 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 because you were taking way too long. You knew we were coming. You were supposed to be outside." And I was like, "I was trying to go outside." You know? That was our first altercation. It wasn't so physical, but physical nonetheless. I was scared. Even more scared when he acted like everything was okay, and he didn't just grab my arm really hard. I was scared. I was confused. I was conflicted. I didn't know if I wanted to go back and see him, and I convinced myself that I wasn't going to. Now, that day, my friend was so brokenhearted. She had other friends that she wanted to go hang out with. She called these friends her cousin and uncle because they were friends of her mother's as well. She wanted to go hang out with them, and I didn't want to. I went over for one sole purpose, that's to comfort her, hang out, and spend the night. It was a typical girl slumber party. She didn't want to. She wanted to go with these friends. And she told me, like, "Either come or you can stay here and I'll be back for you in the morning." And I'm like, "I'm not going to be here by myself, super uncomfortable in your house. That's weird." So I had no choice but to go with her because she was going to go whether I liked it or not. So I went. Then we went, we hung out, I fell asleep, came back. I don't know if she really told her boyfriend anything, but as my ex told me, she told her boyfriend that I cheated on him, and her boyfriend told mine. He was so mad, and he told me, "How dare you, how could you do that to me, blah, blah, blah." I didn't do anything, so I was super confused. I stopped being her friend. I didn't know if that was true because she kept trying to be my friend. I couldn't tell. I was so confused. Now, granted, I already didn't want to go back because he scared me. So he started apologizing after just yelling at me again. Now, this was confusing to me, but nonetheless, I still stayed. I thought we could work through this. That's okay. He agreed. He thought that was okay. He told me, you know, "I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah." Fast forward a few months. My friend we were getting ready to graduate. My friend was leaving for the military. He was having a party. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Now, I didn't ended up going. I didn't say anything, which I felt really bad about because I knew it was going to be an argument. I didn't really feel like arguing. So I just didn't go, which I felt really bad about, but I knew I could see my friend and we could hang out before he left. Now, my ex wasn't too fond about this. My friend had texted me later on that night. I spent the night at my ex's house. He texted me later on that night and he was like, hey, are you guys not coming? Brianna said that she wasn't coming. And so I was like, whatever, I was asleep. I guess my ex went through my phone. He seen the text message and he woke me up by throwing my phone in my face and calling me all kinds of names. Now, I was asleep, so I woke up like, wait, what is going on? My face was hurting at that point because he chucked the phone in my face. I swear he did. I told him that I didn't even go. I don't understand. He was my friend. I've known him all throughout high school. Me and him were really, really close at some point. He was a really good friend of mine. So I was like, I didn't go. Why is it a big deal? And he was like, well, he was expecting you. And I'm like, yeah. It's a friend going away to the military and all my friends went. So yeah, he was expecting me because I got invited. It was not cool. I was really sad because I had gotten hurt. And he was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I went to go wake you up and the phone dropped. Your phone's heavy, so it felt a little bit more than what it was. He quickly started apologizing to me and telling me how he was sorry, but if I just didn't do that, he wouldn't have gotten that mad. Again, red flags. That is kind of, in a way, gaslighting. Why? Because he made me feel crazy. He blamed me for his actions. It was not okay. Not at all. And still I stayed. Because I thought, hey, he'll change. Maybe it is me. Maybe I'm crazy. A few months later, he proposed to me and I said yes. Maybe about 1.5 years into our relationship now, he proposed, I said yes. I was in love. A few months after that, we went ahead, probably a month or two after that, we went ahead and moved in with his grandparents. I moved to a different town, no family, just his. Now, half of his family didn't even like me. Why, I'm not too sure, but they didn't. I moved in with him. It was cool. It was fun for the first few weeks. After those few weeks were up, things got worse. He now really felt that he owned me. So my friends were having a reunion. It was a junior high reunion since we were fresh out of high school not long. And we wanted to have a friends from junior high reunion. Now, a lot of you guys that know my junior high friends, we were all really close. We always did movie nights and stuff. We were always together. A lot of us knew each other from elementary. A lot of us were just a part of our group. And we were all pretty close. So they wanted to have a reunion and I wanted to go. He was not too happy about that. I told him I'd go, and as soon as I got off the phone, he was mad. He threw the biggest fit. And he was like, how dare you? How can you say yes? We're not going to that. And I was like, I'm going to that because those are my friends. It would be really nice if we can go. But I know you don't want to go, so I'm going to go. And I'll have my friends come pick me up. He was not happy about that. At all. At all. He told me, how can I just leave him? Do I not like having fun with him? Do do I not like him anymore, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what? I just wanted to go hang out with my friends. It's a reunion. I haven't seen them for a lot of time. Half of us didn't go to the same school, so I wanted to go hang out with them. It was, just a huge throwback. I wanted to go. It sounded like so much fun. We were all gonna have like a little beach party. He didn't like that. He didn't like that I could have fun with other people because some of them were guys. He said if it was all girls, that would be perfectly fine, but there's guys there. What if they like you? Now, I told him maybe like when we were younger, but we definitely don't really like each other like that anymore. Half of them have girlfriends and boyfriends now. He didn't like that answer. He was really angry. I remember it because that was the day that he punched me in my face and told me that I was ungrateful. I didn't know why. But that was the first day he did. Now fast forward a few months later. There was something there that I did. I forgot what it was. I like moved the room around or something. He didn't like that I touched this stuff. I was confused because there was really nothing for me to hide, and we lived in the same space, so I didn't understand why it was a big deal. Now he got really mad and decided to tell me how I was disrespecting him by touching his stuff. And then I brought up the phone situation with my friend. I was like, you remember a few months ago when you were looking through my phone? I didn't think privacy was a big thing for you. And I started laughing because it was just a joke. It was just a joke that I thought would be funny. He didn't like that. He punched me dead in my face and told him, don't you dare, and told me don't laugh at him. That I'm a disrespectful cunt that shouldn't be saying things like that. I was so sad. I didn't realize what I had gotten myself into. And I wanted to get out. Now this happened off and on, where every time I would make him mad, he would punch me, or he would hit me, or he would throw me. There's this one time where he got so mad at me, and I don't remember what it was about because it was something so small, and it wasn't really anything that he should have gotten mad about, but he did. He got so mad to the point where, again, he punched me in my face. This time so hard that I fell back into the dresser that we had. Now, the dresser was about up to my neck, so it was pretty high, and the buttons dug into my back. Now, that hurt so much, I asked him, how could you do that to me? Like, you're not nice. And he punched me in my stomach. Winded, I fell to the ground, and I tried to breathe, and I couldn't. He decided to tell me that I was a weak person. That how could he even dare to be with someone as weak as me? Someone as disrespectful as me. And I told him that don't. He was like, you're never gonna leave. You're stupid and too weak. And I got so mad finally that I told him to go F himself. And that I can leave whenever I want to leave. Because I'm not these dumb little girls that he's used to. And he got so mad, me on the floor still, half-winded, and he kicked me in my face. And he chipped my tooth. I lived with that every day. I was so sad, so embarrassed, and I felt so ugly. Because how can I be there dealing with that, with such a monster? and still say that I loved him? How can someone who tells me they love me do me like that? That can kick me in my face and then tell me to stop crying and go lay down. If I just didn't get him mad, I wouldn't be in these situations. So I tried my hardest not to. One day I had it, and it was my first attempt at leaving. One of my best friends was coming to come and hang out with me, and I thought this is the perfect time. He wasn't home at the time. Now, throughout our whole relationship, when we lived with his grandparents, either I paid for it because I was taking care of his grandparents, working and going to school, or his grandparents did because he didn't work. That first impression, it was all a facade. He didn't work at nothing. At nothing. The entire time. Our entire relationship, except for the last year. He didn't work. He had no job. He had left one day. I don't even remember where. It was like to the store to go hang out with his cousin, because that's usually where he would be. His cousin and her boyfriend, or her baby's dad. So I thought this is the perfect time. I can go, I can get my stuff, wait for my best friend across the street at this church, and with all my bags, wait for her, put all my stuff in the car and say, let's go. I grabbed all my stuff, I packed everything. As soon as I opened that door to leave, there he was, standing right at the door as if he was waiting for me, as if he knew. And he told me, "What are you doing?" And I was so scared, so stuck that I didn't have words. I stuttered and I said nothing. And he was like, "I know you're not leaving." And again, I didn't know what to say. I was so nervous. I was so scared. I didn't have words. It's kind of like, you know, those dreams where you go to scream out, but nothing is coming out. Kind of like that. I felt like I was talking, but nothing was coming out. And he told me, "Are you trying to leave? You're gonna leave me?" And I didn't know what to say. And so I said no. And I ran back into our room because I was scared. And he was like, "No, you're trying to leave me." So he pushed me. He grabbed all my stuff, took everything out of the bags, and scattered it across the lawn. And if he said, "If you want to leave, leave. Leave like the trash that you are." And I told him, "No, you know, like that's not what I was trying to do." So he grabbed me by my hair after punching me to the ground, of course, because that was his specialty. And he dragged me by my hair from our room in the back of the house all the way to the front, all the way across the yard, all the way to the fence of our alley. And he told me, "Come on, get up, go, leave. Leave with what you have, nothing." And I was so scared and I was crying and I didn't know what to do. And I thought, if I just book it right here, right now, I'll be okay. So I looked at him, I looked at the end of the alley, and he knew. I got up and he grabbed me by my hair, pushed me back and told me, "Get back into the house. I'm not going anywhere." I was so scared that I did. And I went to go pick my stuff up. He said, "Leave it there." Maybe you'll learn your lesson. Get inside, clean up the room, and lay down so we could watch a movie. And I did. He didn't let me get my stuff until the next day. And he watched me do it and told me, see what you make me do. I had a couple of those attempts and they all ended the same. My stuff scattered across the lawn and him telling me, see what you made me do. So I stopped. I stopped trying because it was worse trying than just making him mad. Now, this whole time I felt alone. I felt scared. I felt embarrassed, ashamed, trapped. I felt so trapped. How many of you might be wondering where my family was? My family knew nothing. Except for my sister. She did not like him. She knew he was a liar. She didn't like him whatsoever. And so he didn't like her. And eventually he convinced me that my family hated me. To the point where he made me cut off my family. I couldn't go see him I couldn't go see my families because how can I choose them over him? That's exactly what he told me. And you guessed it. Every time I try to leave to go hang out with my family, it was worse. I'd get beat up so bad that I stopped trying. From the punches and the getting my hair pulled, the kicks, the winded. At some point, he choked me out to where I passed out. Then when I finally came to, he was laying down watching a movie, telling me, finally, you woke up. I'm hungry. Let's go get something to eat. He acted like nothing happened. And when I told him, like, how could you do that? He said, I checked for a pulse. I knew you were alive. And I knew one day I wasn't going to be if I stayed. I just knew. This happened off and on throughout 7 years. At some point, I had no family. My family was tired of me not showing up. I had to choose him or else I'd get beat up so bad. I was forced into a lot of behaviors, into a lot of things that I had to do because I had to do it to survive. If I didn't, then it was worse. Now, there's definitely more to the story, but it's gonna take too long. So I've decided to break these up into a little series. It's gonna be a video per week for 4 weeks, talking about the things that happened. Now, you guys know enough now. You can kind of get the idea. But what happened the day that I left? The day that I decided it's no longer for me. Now I'm going to make another video describing what led up to that and how I left the day that it happened, what happened that day. It was one of the hardest days I've ever had to go through. And one of the toughest fights I've ever had to pull through. Now this video again is not for anybody to be bashed, anybody to feel sorry for me, anybody for anything like that. I want these women, these men, these people that are going through this domestic violence situation to know you have people out here, people that love you, people that are going through the same thing, people that understand you, that will never judge you. Doesn't matter what your reasons are, if you even have one, because honey, half the time I don't know why I did what I did. I just knew I had to survive. I just knew that if I didn't, the consequences were worse. So yeah, I get it. Now, it doesn't have to be physical. Mental and emotional abuse is just as bad, because it breaks you, just in a different way. Now, much like me, if you have it all at the same time, the same way, then you know it's tough. But you can get through it. That I promise you. Now, for those that are watching it, that are going through it, that have went through it, I want to tell you how strong you are, how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, because that you are. What I want you to do is take a look in the mirror that you haven't been able to look at in years, in months, in weeks, in days. And tell yourself how beautiful you are, how awesome you are, how strong you are, because you are. For those of you that have family that you feel like giving up on, I want to tell you don't. Because we aren't giving up. Because I didn't give up. And luckily one of my family members did not. And I just want to remind you guys that not everything is something to be embarrassed about, something to make fun of. These are real life situations that people are going through, real people are going through every day. And I just want to put that out there. And I want to tell you guys that this is really hard to talk about, to go through, to get over. Now again, I'm going to just talk about my experience. Could be worse, could be better, depending on the person. But there's definitely more to the story. So if you're interested, stick around. But I don't care about followers, I don't care about likes, I care about the shares. Why? Because I want people of all places, countries, walks of life to see this, to raise awareness of what people like me are going through, have gone through. I want you guys to see this and think, dang, let me check on my little sister, let me check on my little brother, on my family members, to make sure they're okay, to not ignore the red flags, to not ignore even the slightest things that make you uncomfortable in whatever relationship you're in. Because not everything is black and white. That gray area is so broad. It's bigger than black and white. And the decisions you make in that gray area means so much more than the black and white. That I can promise you. Do I want people to feel sorry for me? No. I don't care for that. I want you to be interested in the story. Because I am not the first nor the last. I'm just someone who's speaking on it. So if you're interested, look out for the next video. Have a good one, guys.